Hello and welcome to the 2018 Holiday Co-op Shipper assembly video. Today we're going to show you how to assemble the holiday display. The first thing we need to go to is your printed assembly sheet, which will be inside with all the components. The key to the components is to make sure you've identified all the corrugated items. We also we'll have a wrapped bag of lights that'll be in a little cavity inside the master shipper. We're going to have a very small bag that will have what we call Christmas clips. We'll need those for the assembly. And then last, we'll have a fairly large bag of 60 hooks for your card placements. Okay, the first step we want to do is we want to find the tower, which is this red piece. There'll be two of these in the corrugated kit. But the first thing we want to do is we want to break the scores so it makes it easy for you to maneuver. Pulling the side panels, sometimes it might be easier to actually put this on the floor and fold these in. Make sure all these tabs are folded in on both sides. The other piece of this equation is we want to make sure that if there's any material in these little holes, we pull them all out, because we're going to be putting lights and clips in those holes. It'll make it easier. So clean out all the strips. To make the assembly easy to do. Okay, so now that you've removed all the debris, kind of broken down the scores on the side to make it easy to manipulate, we want to square this up, the back side up. We're going to take this top flap and we're going to fold it over the top, making sure that all these small flaps inside are covered up. So I'm going to show you from a side angle. On these little tabs here, it's best to fold them out like that, then you can help control how they insert into the bottom here. Again, we want to make sure that all these flaps are inside of this larger flap. Folding over, there's a score here at the top we can break into. Hold that into place. Once you've inserted the tab, we want to stick your hand inside and open up and lock it into place. Now we want to do the same situation from the other side. Pulling it down, lining up the holes, pushing it through. And unlocking the tabs. Once you've got both tabs in place, you can pick up the second piece. The second tower, and repeat the same steps we just did for this piece. Okay, now that we have one half of the tower assembled, we wanted to find the plastic Christmas clips that we're going to insert into the gold printed buttons. These buttons have a hole in them. There's also a flap on the inside that has a hole in them. The idea is to take this Christmas clip, line it up with the hole, and push this through. Make sure that it locks on the tab on the inside. You can stick your hand on the back to make sure it lines up. The idea here is to keep the display sturdy from the side and the top. What you want to make sure you do is insert these on each side, lining the holes up, using your hand on the inside, locking these into place. Repeat the steps on the other side, and then repeat the steps on the other half section of the tower. Okay, now that we've got the Christmas hooks into place, you want to find there's a small package of lights. The lights will have a little straw in them. They'll also have adhesive that you need to tear the top liner off so it'll stick. So the idea here is to initiate the battery with the lights flashing and then push this through, and you can find the holes in the back. Make sure you press really hard so the adhesive sticks, and work your way up the side here with putting 4 lights per side. So 4 lights on this side, 4 lights over here. Repeat that step on the other half of the tower. Okay, so now that we've got both sections of the tower together, we've lined up the slots, and the next move is just to push them so that they lock into place. On both sides, so that you have now a full mailbox. The next step up now is to put the bottom base on. Okay, so now we're done with the tower section. We're moving on to the base. So find your base that's in the package. What you want to do, just like everything else we've got going here, is break the score so it makes it easy for you to assemble. So what we want to do is on the side flaps here, score those in, your tabs, your locks, and just continue to move around the rest of the box for assembly. Okay, so once we've broken all the scores for the bottom base, the best thing to do is put this on the floor, prompt up one of the panels here, and the best way to do this is to insert the bottom lower tab first and work your way up on the side. Make sure you undo the flaps so it locks into place. Just rotate this and work your way around until the piece is finally assembled. Okay, so I just put in the last tab on the base. Make sure you unlock all the tabs so this is held into place. Then the next thing we want to do is we want to push up the inner tabs, pinch them, get them ready for our next move, which will be inserting the base on the tower that was previously assembled. Okay, now that we have the tower assembled, the bottom base assembled, we need to turn the tower upside down gently. We want to make sure that you're very sensitive to all the pieces that are put together, and square it up so that it's ready for your base to slide over the top. So we have now the bottom base on the bottom of the tower. Okay, so now we have the base on the tower. We want to make sure that you fold your tabs in like this and line this up with the slit. If you need to stick your hand in on the bottom of this hole here to help line these tabs up, and then once they're lined up, you can push them through, and then you'll have to insert your hand and unlock the tabs. The next step is to repeat on this side, and that section of the base is completed. We will move on to the side tabs. Okay, so the next step is to take these 2 tabs, and we're going to insert them into the tower. Best way is to access this hole here. Place your hand on the tower. There is a hole that these will punch through. You can lock that into place. Repeat for the next step, and then move on to the other set that's on the other side and repeat. Okay, so now we've got all the inserts into place on the base to the main tower. So now what you want to do is gently rotate to the top, make sure everything's still in place, and go find your lugs. Okay, now we're going to insert the side lugs and the chute. So find these within your kit. There'll be a Santa's mail lug and a Santa's toy lug. It doesn't matter which side these lugs go on. We've got 2 slits. You notice there's no debris inside the holes here. Just insert, lock into place. The chute, again, make sure we've got all the scores broken, the tabs are pinched. Lock those into place. And the next piece we have to do is the book lug. Okay, so the next we find the top lug. Real easy to assemble. Just make sure you break all the scores so it's ready to be folded in. Line up the sides. Push into place and have them lock. So it looks like this. Now we're ready to place it on the top of the display. Okay, now take the top book lug. There'll be 4 tabs. You just line them up at the slits that are on the main tower and insert into place until everything locks. And you're done with the assembly. Okay, the last piece of what we need to do is to find your bag of hooks. There should be 60 plastic white hooks, and you'll see that there'll be die-cut slits throughout the display, not only on the front, the back, and both sides. The hooks are the same for all locations, so just basically take your hook, press down, lock it into place, and continue to do that for all 60 hooks. The last thing you need to do inside your kit is a planogram that has a listing of all the cards and the placement of the cards on each hook. Thanks and good luck.